To our first major discussion right here on TVC Breakfast. Nigeria boasts of many tribes, diverse traditions, and a rich culture with its people spread out in various geopolitical regions. And when it comes to governance, all regions push for inclusion, seeking to play a critical role in the country's politics and decision-making. And this is why appointments are often spread out, so no region feels cheated, and accusations of nepotism do not become rife. The Anambra State Governor, Chukwuma Soludo, is commending President Bola Tinubu for including the Southeast in different political positions under his administration. And so far, according to him, the president has showed kind gestures to the Southeast by giving them juicy ministerial portfolios. Those were his words, despite recording low votes in the region during the last presidential election. The governor reckoned that President Tinubu giving the Ministry of Works portfolio to the Southeast was a plus to the region. And that's what we will be discussing. We have at this time now the Chairman, Guild of Public Affairs Analysts of Nigeria, Enugu State Chapter, Ambrose Igboke. Dr. Igboke, it's good to have you join us at this time. Only last week, the president marked his first 100 days in office, and his administration was put on the spotlight. And with this commendation coming in by a southeastern governor, to what extent do you agree with the kudos given to the president concerning appointments of Igbos in his government so far?
Professor Charles Soludo is entitled to his opinion, but I would read his opinion as praise singing and not a true reflection of the reality. You see, one of the things these people do is that they just want to have what we call adulation, for our public officers. They are very good at that. Firstly, I also agree partly with him that for the first time in a very long while, an Igbo man is made the Minister for Works, because it seems that the Nigerian polity has contrived some certain things against the Igbo people after the Civil War. The no victor, no vanquished mantra of General Gowon then, I think, did not sink well because of the treatment we maintained the Igbo people over the years. The war has been over for more than 50 years, yet they get the short end of the stick. For example, Minister of Works have not, some Ministry of Defense, there are some certain positions the Igbos have not occupied for a very long time, contrived against them. So for the President Tinubu to give Ministry of Works to the Igbos is very commendable with that. But basically, the other ministries that the Igbos got was the Ministry of Science and Technology, I think the Ministry of Trade and Investment, right, and the Ministry of Women Affairs. So trade and investment and works are very important ministry. But science and technology, some part of science and technology that we're taking away. I mean, there's a ministry again called Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. When you talk digital economy, every aspect of technology contributes to the economy. So I don't know how they want to delineate the duties of these two ministries, where you say digital economy, science, innovation, and technology. And then some of the parastatals and agencies under science and technology are actually agencies on their own, which are directly responsible to government, to the presidency. So the portfolios I would say is the Ministry for Works and maybe Trade and Investment. Those are the critical ministries that the Southeast got. There, one other important position that is not, of course, a ministerial position, the Chief of Naval Staff, that was given to the Southeast. This is a critical move, and this is applauded because it was not expected actually. So this is good, and then we commend the president for that.
Right. I think he's having network issue. Or
all
is
right.
There?
All right. Okay. So due to the network issues that we're having, we hope that this is not major. And all right, Dr. Igboke, we lost your due to the network. We lost your audio at a point. Kindly, finish up on that point, please.
Yeah, I was saying that the ministries that were given the critical ones were the works and that of the trade and investment. Part of the one for technology, science and technology. Part of it is also in another ministry called Ministry of Digital Communication and Digital Economy. That all parts of technology leads to the economy. So I don't know how they delineate responsibilities for that. And I also said that there is also a very critical position given to the Southeast, which is not a ministerial position, which is the Chief of Naval Staff. That is a very critical one. I will commend the President for that. But having said that, I'm also kind of surprised, and I have my reservation that the Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria now, and Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as Governor of Lagos State from 1999 to 2007 seems to be two different people. The governor I know as Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, 1999 to 2000, seems to be a more liberalized Nigeria than the architecture of assemblage of ministers we have now. The Southeast, we saw the highest level of clannishness and nepotism during the time of Buhari, where we see almost all the critical positions in Nigeria was ceded to a particular part of the country, which is the north. And people cried out. There was no federal character exhibited, and it was taken to a new level, a dizzying height, and Nigerians were frustrated. So this seems to have followed the trajectory. And if it's like if Buhari did it and got away with it, so he has set a precedent that maybe and a template for other presidents to follow. Because if he got away with it, then other presidents will feel they will get away with it. And I think that is what is playing out here now. If we want to analyze slots, Southeast, if the Constitution did not make it mandatory for each state to get a slot in the as minister, probably the Southeast might have not got even any. But because of the mandatory nature of what the Constitution said, that's why the Southeast got in the last administration and even now. So that is why the 5 statutory. Other regions got their statutory allocation. And you know that by the nature of South states in the South is already only 5 states. Already
we'll break it down. Apologies, for the interruption. We'll break down the current dynamics and the realities regarding the perceived grievances of, Southeasterners. But let me, Dr. Anambra State, let me introduce our other guest this hour, and that's Public Affairs Analyst Ziggy Bay. It's good to have you join us again. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Right.
Good morning.
So we were talking to Ambrose Igboke, who said that the president tried in terms of his appointments, but then what he did as a governor in terms of appointments is different from what we're seeing on a national level. What's your own? How do you see the appointments so far? Do you feel or do you agree with the governor Chukwuma Soludo, who said that the president has been fair to the Igbos, looking at what happened, what transpired during the elections?
Thank you so much. I wouldn't want to align totally with Chukwuma Soludo. I think he just said his own opinion, just like I would have mine. Appointments is still ongoing, and one cannot totally say now that that exercise is rested. But so far, I heard when he said it was juicy appointment given to Igbos. I see no juicy about giving Igbos the Minister for Works, okay? Who defines how an appointment becomes juicy? I don't know. But if you look at all that has been given, President Bola Tinubu only exercised the constitutional right of distributing ministers among all the states. He has not flouted any law. It is just a statutory requirement for all the states to have at least a minister. I think he went ahead, giving some other states 2 or so. But you see, as we speak, totality of what he has given is not even exhausted, because we've not had some ministers like Minister for State,
Minister
Youth and Sports and all that, you know. So I feel at this point, nobody can totally say he has done well in ministerial appointment or not. But then you look at maybe who the appointments are given, and you begin to see which side did they come from, which region do they come from, and all that. Yes, he has done well by giving all the people, by giving all the individuals in the various states in that region. Okay, and at this point, it will be commendable if he goes further to expand those in his cabinet, those in his appointment environment, because as we speak, that exercise is ongoing, and nobody can totally say, okay, he has done so well. But if you want to commend giving individuals appointments from the Southeast, he only did what the constitution required. Okay, so I think it's too early.
No, if you look at it against the backdrop of what's how the previous administration respected or disrespected the federal character, even though the president was dragged, the president, former president Buhari, the Attorney General, and two other people were dragged before the court that they did not respect the Section 8 and Section 7 and 8 of the Constitution in terms of representing Nigeria, fulfilling the obligations of federal character. But then there was nothing character about the federal appointment.
That's it,
President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yeah.
But shouldn't we commend this incumbent administration for at least doing all of this, apart from
I think it has a trajectory,
right.
And I think it's just working towards getting those areas fulfilled. So far, so good in all he has done. Appointment has been given, ministers have been selected, what's it called? SAs, senior
special assistants
and all that have been taken. And if you look at the areas of special assistance, I don't think an Igbo, okay, and one Igbo guy is there, okay? But like I said, it is too early a time for me to adjudge him.
Based on how you see it.
Yes, based on how I see it and exactly what you and I could see, because he has just fulfilled a little, just about 2-3% of the total appointment. If you want to bring the totality of what he's going to appoint in the whole administration, he has not done anything. Okay?
All right. Mr. Ibe, let's put you on hold and get back to Enugu, so to speak, now to get more information from Dr. Ambrose Igboke. And I want to take you up on another quotation or another quote attributed to the Anambra State government, the Anambra State Governor, where he spoke about the president contradicting the popular belief that in politics you don't get what you deserve but what you bargain for, saying that, okay, looking at the number of votes that he garnered in the Southeast during the election, it wasn't expected that they would get this much attention from him so far. Now, this trend in politics, how do you see it? How healthy do you see it? And the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, was also said, he also said something like that, as much that naturally he would give his attention. He reportedly said that he would give his attention to regions that voted for him rather than regions where he didn't get as much vote. How healthy is this, when you look at the reality in our own type of politics, how healthy and what does it get us in the end?
First of all, I don't agree with Professor Soludo saying that the Southeast does not deserve more. First of all, the Southeast are 5 states, and 2 of the states are APC states, while 2 are PDP states. 1 is APGA states. So what are we talking about? So the equal number of states that APC has in the states is the same in the region, is the same number PDP has. So are we not saying because of individuals? I think it's a high level of infantile politics to take that kind of ideology to say because I was not voted for. It's infantile, because actually politicians will even work harder to gain the trust of the people who didn't vote for them, because that means there's a trust deficit. That's a problem there. Why didn't they vote for you? Because they don't trust you. And if you now go ahead to not cut them. The politicians are supposed to cut those who didn't vote for them so that they can win them over and be their friends. But when you display this kind of attitude, saying that because people did not vote for you, therefore you will not give them ministerial appointments or you will not give them infrastructure, just like what Buhari did. Buhari fixed railway across this country and didn't bring anyone to the southeast. The same thing with the ports and everything. That is sheer wickedness. That I will call it that. So it doesn't align with political ideology. You are the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not the president of voters. The people that voted for you, you are not just the president, you are the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Every citizen and every region is under your control and should feel. And the first responsibility of the president is what the Constitution said, the welfare and security of every citizen. What is the welfare of the citizen? So why will you take care of the welfare of a segment of the citizens because they voted for you and then you don't do the rest? That is infantile politics, as I would describe it. So we need to grow. African democracy and Nigerian democracy needs to grow beyond those primordial, I call them primordial sentiments. And they're not supposed to be part of our modern politicking and democracy. So rather, a politician should look at spreading development everywhere and saying that, for example, the ministerial list, given the region, because they didn't vote for you, just the basic constitutional requirements, already a region that was already shortchanged, and we think that just 5 is enough. For me, I think it is enough to judge because the ministers at the highest level and highest cabinet members. So if you have shortchanged the region in ministerial appointment, you have shortchanged them significantly. So it's not too early to judge. This is the right time to judge because other appointments that are remaining are essays, which are below the ministers, or board appointments. These are below ministerial. We are talking about the highest level of cabinet members, which are the ministers. And the Southeast has been changed significantly. Because even in the state constitution of the states on the region, I mean, Southeast is just 5 states. Other states are higher than the Southeast. Yet, you didn't compensate them. There was no regional representation. Other regions had regional representation. Other regions, apart from being even far ahead in the state constitution, still had like Northwest had 10 slots. Southwest has 9 slots. North Central, South, and Northeast have 8 slots each. It's only Southeast that has 5 slots.
Okay, so
and you said that is not injustice. So
Mr. Ambrose,
that should not be tolerated in this. That should not be manifested in this kind of in the modern age we are. It's primordial.
Mr. Ambrose, you also said that you also agreed. You said that the Southeast has 5 states, Southwest has got 6 states, and we know that other regions too have got seven number of states, and I think the Southeast has the least number of states. Yeah. So if we have 5 people coming from there, these the former governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, Minister of Works, Doris Anite, Industry, Trade and Investment, Uche Naji, Innovation, Science and Technology, Nkiru Georgia, Minister of State, Labor and Employment from Abia State, and Uju Kennedy, Women Affairs, and from Anambra State. So do you not feel that this, still looking at, because there is no way you can separate politics from governance, and there is no way you can separate politics from what events that happened before. The president had already said he would be the president of national, he will, run the governor or government of national competence. Do you not see this play out? Looking at being factual and being also political in one's assessment.
I don't see it playing out at all. Government of national competence. Southeast is one of the most resource-laden region when you talk about human resources. So it's in abundance. So when you talk of competence, Southeast has tremendous competence, and it has been demonstrated over the years. So that nullifies that area. Southeast has enough competence if you want to really do that. Then secondly, already because Southeast is already shortchanged in terms of the states constituting the region, we are supposed to elevate that even to add more to the region to make up for the shortfall. But rather, what you did was to just keep it there and then added more to the states, to the regions that already had more advantage over the Southeast. For example, Northwest has 7 states, while Southeast has 5. You added 3 more slots to Northwest, Northwest to give them 10 ministerial slots. Southwest has 6 states already. One advantage over the southeast. You added 3 to make it 9 states. So now the remaining 3 other regions have 6 states each. They added two more slots to make it 8. These are states that already have more numbers than the southeast. The southeast that didn't even have up to what others have. You didn't even add any. That is a clear message. And anybody trying to paint it otherwise is just trying to beg the question.
All right, back to the studio then. We'll come back to you, Dr. Ambrose, in a bit. But all right, so, the Buhari administration also on record, had, a number of railway transportation and related projects in the southeast. But now that the Tinubu administration is in power, so to speak, with the Ministry of Works portfolio being given to a southeasterner, and the governor of Anambra State has already, spoken to that effect, how that will impact positively on the infrastructural deficit in the southeast. To what extent do you agree? How much of a round peg in a round hole is Engineer Dave Umahi's appointment, especially on how it will benefit the region?
Okay, I want to take it from where Soludo said that number of votes given to Tinubu wasn't encouraging from the southeast. When elections are up, who gives elections, who voted and all that, after the whole dust is settled, doesn't matter. What matters is the governance. The moment a president is sworn in, he is the president of the whole country, not a region. Who voted for what? It was only Buhari who came and wanted to crave that, wanted to bring in that sentiment. But each time you are voted into a position, you are not voted because of that party. You are not voted in because of the people. You are not voted in because of whatever. It is for the good, the totality good of the people. That settles that. So President Bola Tinubu is the president of the country, not a president for the southwest or the north, or he's the president of this country. So whatever thing he gives shouldn't be seen from that angle. It shouldn't be a division of giving to those who had voted for you more and giving less to those who had voted for you less. That shouldn't be. It nullifies that argument. That is it. Past administration, I would say boldly that the Southeast benefited hugely. The second Niger bridge that was built wasn't because the Southeast did not vote for Buhari. Okay? It was built because there's this dividends of democracy. There's this governance at the center to be felt by those at the lower rung of the ladder. Hence, the bridge was built. And if you look at the benefits of the governance of President Buhari, the Southeast got more, but they voted less, if we want to go into judging who voted and all that. So that nullifies the whole idea of it shouldn't be a chunk benefit shouldn't be given to those who voted more. No. Now, Dave Umahi, being the Minister of Works, wouldn't work only on the roads of those in the Southeast. No. It's going to be federal roads, trunk A roads, trunk B roads, and all that. In the Constitution, there's specifications of duties of those in the states. The roads in the states are being taken care of or are being maintained by the states. And it's specified, even in the Constitution, the roads that are being maintained by the federal government. And that's why FEMA is set up. Okay, so at this point, bringing in Dave Umahi, who is from the Southeast, and we are looking at maybe developing more of Southeast road, shouldn't be there at all. It shouldn't. Because Fashola, who is from the southwest, did more of the roads in the southeast. And that exactly gives you the idea of governance. So it shouldn't be the government at the center takes care of everyone.
All right.
And that's the way it is.
So I was asking about, shouldn't we look at competence rather than saying that this is where this person hails from?
Right.
But not exactly only males, but we've got some female appointees too. And we also talked about the 35% affirmative action, which should also have more women folks in a particular cabinet. So what do you say? What say you to this?
Nigeria federal character principle. The drafters of that noble principle they did not look at issues like we wouldn't have competent people in a particular region, or we are going to be selective in those who man a particular positions. In each of the regions in this country, you certainly must find someone who fits into an appointment, who fits into a position. Okay, we are not. I don't think it's going to be very scarce finding people who would take positions that are skillfully needed or minded. So, in observing federal character principle, each time you are looking for someone from a particular region, you most certainly will get someone who will fit into it. In as much as that is needed in all the positions that will actually require output, we are going to get them in all the regions. Nigeria is not bereft of competence.
Technocrats.
Nigeria is not. We have so many skilled individuals in all the states. And I'm sure the drafters of that principle knew this. And that's why they say...
That was Murtala Mohammed,
Yes, each of the states or region will provide or produce a particular person for a particular office. And we have infringed on that. I tell you advisedly, because you see, most of the leadership failures or bereft we have was because a certain person or individual was not brought, or the person is not skilled in that very position. For instance, I make jest of this always. It's only in Nigeria you find an engineer wear suit in the field. You don't get that abroad. Engineers are always in the field. You don't wear suits in the field. Okay, but that's just by the way. We are saying when you are getting people into positions, get right people with the right skills. And we don't find those people in their less numbers. They are everywhere. Okay? So getting people to work in offices, to work in a particular ministries and all that. And if people are not, if a state is not giving that opportunity, nobody should give reason that you couldn't find someone in that region. No.
That's right.
It's not.
All right. Let's get a final take from Dr. Ambrose Igboke, and that is regarding the advocacy for constitutional amendments that will correct the perceived marginalization of the southeastern region. And this matter has been recurring over the years, how that the southeast has the least number of states, the least number of local governments, in addition to other indicators. So, from your lawyerly, perspectives, how do we go about this?
Firstly, I think we should, as you have correctly said, we should correct the imbalance in the geopolitical zones. One region cannot be having 7 states, while another has 5 states. Most of the regions, 4 out of the 6 regions have 6 states. So it was just fair that Southeast should have 6 states, just like any other states. But secondly, what we are practicing in Nigeria is not fiscal federalism. So that is a big problem, and that's why we have not moved forward. There is too much on the concurrent, on the exclusive lists of the Constitution, which is what the federal government exclusively does. Our federal government should be left to just handle things like aerospace, army, then the military, basically, and then currency and some major macro policies. But telling me that the federal government has roots, is building, it's mundane. The federal government should not be involving itself with running roads and some of those things. Even in the health sector, these things should be exclusively decentralized. But to do this, you also need to move some economic issues from the exclusive list to the concurrent list. For example, the issue of fiscal federalism. Why will all the resources being tapped from Nigeria go to the federal account, and then each of the 36 states every month go to Abuja and line up and collect what they call the federal allocation every month? That is making a mockery of what a federation is. So Nigeria should move forward and actually unbundle this jaundiced federation we are practicing. And let's go back to what we had in terms of the fiscal, that is the fiscal economic template we had between 1960 to 1966, where the regions, or what we call states, are the economic drivers of the country and pay tax to the center. So this, we can now unbundle some of those responsibilities, especially financial responsibility of the federal government, and move them to the state. Have states control their mineral resources, for example, have states to control their police, or the region to have the police of their own, security, mining, infrastructure, and all those deliverables, even health and education. Let each state run its own and then pay tax to the center. In that way, we can move forward and become a true federation and then prosper better.
All right, that will be all for now. Gentlemen, we thank you very much. Dr. Anambra State joining us from Enugu State, and here in the studio, Ziggy Ibe, many thanks for your contributions on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Many thanks again.